All right, everybody. So here I am back again. My apologies to everyone. We've got some high winds here, and it is possible that we get some interruption to the broadcast. If it gets too bad, I will just stop the broadcast altogether. But we'll give it one more go. I just want to. Um, I just want to just change it on my phone here so that I can be, whoops, at the same place that you guys are, and then we can carry on. Just bear with me 1 second. Just while I wait. Hi there, Jody. Good to see you. For those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin and does a wonderful job at it. And I'm just going to get this back. Here we go. There we are. All right. This is just so that I can read the comments while I'm doing things. So welcome back for those of you who are there. I was just showing you how I reuse the pulp and things from making my smoothies. And this one is an orange and mandarin. And what I've done is I have taken the peel, dried it, and turned it into a mandarin zest. So, a really good thing to add to pancakes, to add to muffins or anything else that you're making, but also great gifts for people. If you've got people in your life that like to bake. All right, so what's happening here is I am just draining the liquid off, just letting it work through, getting, now obviously if I wanted to get my hands dirty, I could just squeeze this and it would go beautifully, but why bother? We'll just let nature do its thing. It actually doesn't take very long. But lots of vitamin C there. And this is one of my favorites, is to do orange, banana, and mandarin. A great taste for those that want it. Right, so what I'm now going to do is to take the pulp and just put that into a different container. Obviously, I could wait a bit longer, but I don't want to waste your time with it. There we go. Funny enough, you think that because it's got all the pith and everything in it, that it will taste very bitter, but it doesn't. So it's quite pleasant just as it is. Now, the reason I wanted to show you this is because I made a dessert using this that I wanted to show you. And I'm going to put this in the fridge in the meantime. Amazing, isn't it? Just why waste it? So what I did earlier this evening is I took some Jello, some sugar-free Jello, and I mixed. I don't know if this is done, but I wanted to show you. Yeah, just about, not quite. But can you see? I mixed the pulp in with it. All right, and what I'm going to do later on is put a mousse over the top of that. So then in my meal prepping, I have got dessert. But I've also got extra fiber from the smoothie. Clever? Now, one of the things that I'm pretty certain we've all got in our lives somewhere, it's like a fondue pot, is probably a pasta maker. You've probably had it forever, hardly ever use it. And I'm using mine every day now. Jodi's saying, I like how you find uses for everything. Shows such respect for the food we are blessed with. Well, you know something, I am deeply concerned, quite honestly, Jody, with the fact that we waste so much food. You know, that's what really upsets me, is how much food we waste. And if I'm not part of the solution, then I'm part of the problem. So that's why I'm always trying to give you ideas. You don't have to do them. And it's not because I'm cheap or I can't afford whatever. It's not about that. It's just like, I think if we can just get a different mindset, we can help each other learn a great deal. All right, so here is my bread dough. And I think you all know I make my own multigrain bread. What is in here? I've got some white flour. I've got whole wheat flour. I've got rye flour in here. I've got flaxseed, chia seed, some psyllium. All right, so this is all in my dough. And what I'm going to do is to show you how I make my own pita. Now, this is still pretty sticky. And it's great to put it in a plastic bag, just so you know, because it saves you getting really messy. Now, when I make my pitas, I just cut off a little bit of the sticky dough and I just drop it in the flour. Why? Because it'll just absorb it and that's fine. So I've got a little, like a dessert roll, and we're just going to run it through here. That actually went through pretty well. This is on the widest setting of the pasta maker, but as you can see, it's pretty good. Now, if you end up with a lot of holes in it, it means add a bit more flour. It needs more flour, but this went pretty well. I'm going to put that there for now. Let's do another one. Just going to cut off a piece. Drop it in the flour because it's good and sticky. And I'm just squashing it a little bit, make a disc of it, and then that also went through quite well. Now then, we like to have interesting stuff, so let's put it on here. And you all know I grow my own rosemary, so there's the rosemary. And now that's sort of semi-pulverized. And, oh, such a great smell. What I'm going to do, so now what I've got is a mixture of big pieces of rosemary and also small ones. Oops, there's a lot of rosemary on there, people. So we'll move some of that over. Now, this is how I do it. Once I've got it on there, oh, by the way, I don't normally add salt, but it is Friday and it's special. So this is a mixture of lemon pepper and salt. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in there. I don't normally put salt in there, but it's special. And then here's what I do. I fold it up again like this, and I run it through a second time or a third time so that everything is incorporated nicely. So I'm just going to fold it again like that, put it in the opposite direction. It's a little sticky, so we're going to add a bit more flour to it. we go. Awesome. So now all that rosemary and everything is nicely incorporated on it. Nice and easy. Hey, if Sal can do it, anybody can do it. So I'm just going to put that there. And we'll do this other one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Again. Way cool, huh? Don't work hard, work smart. So we're going to just put that on there. But how about some chips to have with, a dip this evening, all right? Same stuff. Now, we have choices. We can either leave it exactly as it is, which is what I'm going to do, or you can add different things to it, whatever you want. Just for the sake of getting it all in the oven, I'm going to just leave it as it is. However, I'm going to run it through one more time, but thinner, because these are for dunking. They are not pitas, all right? So I'm going to just turn this a little thinner, about halfway. Amazing how that works. Twice the size. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. Can you see that as this went through the second time, it started to get holes in it? Means it needs a bit more flour. Quite simple. Tuck it in there. And all I will keep doing now is just adding a little bit more flour to it until it works. Interesting that the one piece didn't have the problem and the other piece did. Okay, still needs a bit more work. But I'm sure you get the idea. There we go, that's good. Okay, so those are nice big bits. So we will do the pitas first. So I've got the oven at 300 Fahrenheit. For those of you who are in Canada and the rest of the world, I'm pretty certain you can work that out. So I'm just going to put these in literally for about 5 minutes each side. So let's do that. Oh. One thought. I have not put any oil on them, but you can. All right, so it depends what you want. I'm just going to spritz a little bit of oil, not a lot, and just cover it. Just a little. Just a hint of oil. All right, so Jody, can you give me a reminder in about 5 minutes or less to check that? Because, I get carried away. All right, so this is my smoothie. And I'm going to put that in there. Oh, it's going to taste so good. I'll put some ice with it. And I have to say that, thank you, Jody, I appreciate that. I have to say that this is so simple to do. I have one of these every day. It's part of my make sure I get enough fruit and vegetables, all right? So I've got, what did I have? 2 mandarins and half an orange. And I sometimes make a second one, just so I get enough fruit. That's good. And, I also had half a banana. Now you will notice if I hadn't put the lemon juice in there, this would have turned brown already, all right, because of what it does. That tastes really good. All right, here's my rosemary. What I will do is put that away later. Now then, let me check how that's doing. I thought I'd show you, this is a pita that didn't pop up high. Depends on the thickness. But I thought I'd show you what I do with them once they're cooked. So I didn't do anything fancy with it, just as you saw me do it there. And I just cut the bottom of it like this and the side of it. Like this. And then I fill that with lettuce. Let me show you. By the way, this is butter lettuce, and I keep it growing in here all the time until I finish it. So this will be the end of this one. But what I'm going to do is to leave it in here in case it would like to grow some more. So now what I do is I just put the nice fresh, literally very fresh lettuce, because it's still growing, in the pita pocket like that. Sometimes I start with a layer of cream cheese. Now, I could put peppers in there. I could put cucumber in there or whatever. I'm just going to put some cheese on it so that you can see. This is, that red Vesta cheese that I like so much. So I allow myself 2 slices of that. Just small slices. And how many of you can see that that's a really nice little sandwich? Easy? Not difficult to make. All right. Before I go on, any questions on that? Jody's reminding me that 300 Fahrenheit is 148 in centigrade. Thanks, Jody. So, that's it. But what I wanted to show you is, look how thin the bread portion of it is. Thank you, Jody. Time's up. All right, Jody, another 5. Now, the peculiar thing is, and I have no idea why this is so, that it never rises until you turn it over and do the second side. I have no idea why that is. And sometimes it rises more than others. So, like everything I do, it's all an experiment. Yeah, I want to tell you that I'm not a big salad eater, but I definitely have one of these every day. Because why not? And as I said, it's far less than having a couple of slices of bread. Mm. And I'm sorry I'm eating while I cook. Mm. Well, now, I'm always asking you these questions about, I make a big mess, didn't I? About the crackers. You know I love crackers. That's why I make my own now. But what I wondered was, what is the difference to have a snack in the evening using apple slices, core down the center of the apple and then cut it this way, apple slices versus regular crackers? Do you have an idea of how many calories we've got in one apple? This is a gala apple, by the way. I did a bit of homework for you, so let me find that for you. Because to me, it was interesting exactly where this comes up. Okay, let me just get that a bit bigger so I can read it. Oh, got everything except the apple. I've got a feeling that a gala apple is about 75 calories. I'm sure that Jody will check it for me. So if I cut that into slices, I'd probably get about 6 good slices of that, which is, pretty good. So if that is about 70 calories, I think, just to let you know, one serving of the water crackers, that would be 6 crackers, is 80 calories. One serving of these that I absolutely love. Mm-hmm. They got salt in them, yeah. 6 crackers. Really love these. Mind you, they got rosemary, and that's what made me do what I'm doing. Um, and one serving of Vinta, which used to be my go-to, that's only 2 crackers. Oh, it says 3 for 100 calories. So, the point that I'm making is that we think apple slices would be that much healthier, but it's not really all that much healthier. Maybe get a few more. So, wherever you can, do your homework. How much time have I got, Jody, before that second half? Sugar. 80 calories in a gala apple. Depends on the size, right? Good. All right, so now what I'm going to do for the last couple of minutes is I'm going to take them off the pan and just put them on the rack, because they're well enough cooked that they will hold the shape. Hold on, people. That looks funny. Okay, so now we've got equal amounts of air going around. Jody, I would think another 3-4 minutes, probably. Hi there, Sandy. Okay, what are the fiber and the carbs? Okay. These, very thin, very tasty. The carbs on these are 8%, 10 grams. Oh, 19. And the fiber, 4%. So a net 4% on these, right? Jody's saying flatbread pizza would be great with the rosemary infused dough. I've done one and it is. All right, so now what was the second one? These, the Venta, just so you know, I know we've discussed this before. Fiber 4%. It actually just has glucosides. It doesn't actually say carbs, but we know that's what it is. So that's 4% in there. And where's the last one? This one. 5% on the cars, of which 4%, 1 gram of it is fiber. I hope that helps you. I sort of work on the principle that as long as I keep it to about 100 calories, I'm pretty good. And I'm getting good about knowing how many crackers I can have. Mm-hmm. Sandy's saying that she deducts the carbs, the fiber away from the carbs to give you net carbs. So, for example, with these were 19 grams of carbs, but only 1 gram of fiber in here. So, you know, the carbs are pretty high net, not too bad. These are 15 grams carbs in here. Again, 1 gram only of fiber. And these are 12 grams, 1 fiber. All right, so all about the same, just to give you an idea. They're beginning to puff. So exciting. Now, the next thing is what I think about is making my own. I know what's in it. I know there's no added salt in it because I don't put salt in my dough. I've got extra psyllium in here. So I find that I allow myself more if I make it myself. Does that make sense to everybody? All right? Because I know what's in it, literally. I've nearly finished this. I know you're always looking for snacks, and that's why every week, I'm going to do different snacks for you, Sandy. Um, the thing is this, that with Jody's help, I was declared a diabetic, Jody, 2 years ago? And I have managed to keep my blood sugar pretty much under control, under 6, or just on 6 once, for those 2 years without any medication. So something I'm doing is right. And I assure you, I eat everything I shouldn't. I eat ice cream. I eat mac and cheese. You know, I eat all sorts of things. And I believe the reason that I can control it is and with Jody's help, I know how to bring it down again if I've had a bad time. Thank you, Jody. Going to turn them over. It smells so good. But I believe the reason I've been able to control it, portion control, intermittent fasting, and making a lot of the stuff myself. I cook once a day. I get up. I don't eat until about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Mind you, I don't get up until late, but if I want something before then, I will have coffee, liquids as far as possible. Sometimes I'll even have a smoothie, but I don't actually start eating solid food until late afternoon. Does that make sense to everybody? And I think that has helped. The other thing is, as you know, I keep a lot of the fiber that I have and I use it, in other things. So not only do I add psyllium, but I also, reuse fiber that, I've got from other things. So, and I believe all those little things are helping me. Or maybe that's my fantasy. But the truth is, the numbers don't lie. So the numbers, I've managed to keep my blood glucose pretty much, I would say, pretty even, right? My A1C has been either 5.9 or 6, somewhere in there. I think I had a 6.1 once, probably after Christmas one year, not this year. But just so that I've managed to control it, and I still eat a lot of things that most people would just roll their eyes and go, I cannot believe you're eating that. Which is why I wanted to talk about pasta. That was my next thing. Okay, so these didn't puff up as much as they normally do. Not the end of my world. So how many of you can see that it's just waiting for me to make a flatbread type pizza out of it? No problem at all. All right. And I'm pretty certain that if I leave it and then put it back in a hot pan, maybe it'll probably puff up again. In the meantime, I'm going to put those on. And I've still got some left, and that will go ready for the next time. I nearly touched that with my hand. Now, the other thing is, I am now pretty good. I know that I can eat this much of my homemade multi-grain sourdough bread. I know how much I can eat, right? Which is why I make my dough probably twice a week, and then I just put it into baggies like this. Some are slightly bigger than others, but basically about that much. And if I eat about this much, I'm good. And the other thing is, I get to choose how I eat it. In other words, do I want to make flatbreads, and make a pizza out of this tomorrow? Or do I want to cut it up and have dip and chips? Up to me. That smells so, I wish you could smell the rosemary, but it really does smell great. All right. Any more questions on that one? And can you imagine making maybe a bread like this with some of that mandarin zest in it? Can you imagine what that would taste like? Yum. Be nice for in dinner rolls and things. So I'm happy. Okay, we'll let that cool. That can go. That can go. This one is very thin, which is why I wanted to put it in separately. So the chances of my burning this a little bit is much greater. So Jody, I think another 2 minutes, please, and then I'll turn them over. Now then, before I make the pasta, how many of you make your own pasta? Again, I've often said, what's the point? You can buy it so cheaply. But the thing is, it's nice to know that you can. What I'm going to do is to just make some spaghetti because I've got the machine out. And also to show you that it's up to me what I use for flour. For example, all that spaghetti really is semolina flour and egg and a little bit of water. So it's up to us what we put in it. Now, we could add vegetables to the dough of the semolina dough and actually make healthy pasta. Does that make sense to everybody? I could actually add zest of vegetables, cook the vegetables and make little grains like this and add it into the dough. That's one way. And the other is to know exactly what a portion of pasta is. How good are you guys on what is a portion of pasta? Okay, and I brought this just to ask you, do you think a portion of pasta is about this much? Or 2 of these, 3 of these, 4 of these, 6 of these? What do you reckon? This is just a muffin tin with flour in it. So what do you think a portion of pasta is? And we're talking when it's cooked. So that's what I need you to know, right? The reason that we have problems is the answer is not, it depends how big my plate is, Sal. That is not the right answer, right? And that was part of what I had to learn, is I can have pasta every week if I control the portion. So, anybody want to take a guess? The trick to know is that whatever you want to end up with, uh, cook half as much dry. All right? And I'm just going to turn that over. I need my, there it is. Cooking quite well. Yeah, Jody's saying the portion depends on how hungry I am. So, again, this is with Jody's help. This is what I have learned. All right, no, don't cook more than you are allowed to eat. That way, you don't go for seconds. That way, you don't go back for that second helping. Does that make sense? Um, if you can, yeah. Yeah, if you can, invest in some mason jars about this size. Because quite honestly, a serving of pasta is 1 cup, which means 2 of these. Now, are we allowed to have 2 servings? Yeah. If you don't eat anything else for the rest of the day, you can get away with it. But don't expect to eat two lots of that every day and not have a blood sugar problem. So if we know that we are allowed to have 2 of these, it means 1 portion dry is 1 of these. That's the math. I know I'm allowed 2, so the ideal amount of pasta to start with is 1 of these. Now, I'm going to make a bit more than that in the dough, just because it's difficult to make just that much. And we'll see what we end up with. I got most of it out. Where did I put it? All right. So, if possible, get some sort of small measure. It'll help you. I'm going to put in just 2 measures like that of white flour. I'm going to put in some psyllium, because we know that's good. There's not too much. I'm going to oh, I normally use semolina flour. Well, we'll mix it all up. It's an experiment. So let's put in some semolina flour. My bad. But what I'm trying to make sure you all know is there's no perfection about this. It's like you can put whatever you like into your spaghetti. All right, so now we've got regular flour, semolina flour. What about we need some whole wheat? I pre-mix whole wheat and rye, so we'll put a bit of that in. And now we need an egg. Now remember, we've also got the psyllium in there, so that also will act as a binding agent. So we've got an egg in there. We're going to need a little water. Yeah. And now I'm just going to do it in my magic bullet. Now, I'm pretty sure you can see that it's still got quite a bit of powder, floury powder at the bottom, so it needs a little bit more liquid. Now, you could probably hear the difference in sound, and the sound is different because it's now forming a ball. It's not perfect yet, but it is a good start. So what I'm going to do is put this onto here. The yellow is from the semolina. Pretty good. It's going to need a little bit more because it's pretty sticky. And the last bit I just do by hand. So put some more semolina on there. It's a little bit sticky. What I found is actually rolling it across the loose semolina helps. And just turn it onto yourself and just keep rolling it. And, we've got a pretty good dough ball going here. Probably a little bit too sticky to go through the rollers. So we'll save ourselves a lot of heartache by just adding a bit more. Now, semolina is a starch, so just know that's where we start with. Not bad. Let's see if it'll go through. So I'm going to open up this to the biggest hole to start with. This is always such fun. I love making spaghetti. So again, I'm just going to flatten it. I can feel it's still a bit sticky. Ooh, I still got stuff in the oven. So that's one. Now what I'm going to do is only cook half of this, not all of it, portion control. So how much did I literally did a ball about that size as one helping. What would be the difference in portion size and calculations if using whole wheat flour? I don't know. Do the calc. Let me know, Kaz. So I think that's about the right. So now I'm going to put it down so that it's fine, which will make these much bigger. There we go. 1, 2. Can you see this is almost see-through? Now the trick is, do you want linguine size or do you want spaghetti size? You got choices. Why don't we do one of each, just out of interest? Because, you know, we like to have fun, don't we? So I just put a little bit more of that semolina on there. What did I do with the handle? Wish me luck. It's always challenging. Lost a bit. Okay. So there we have this is a trouser hanger, by the way. It works really well. There we have about one helping of pasta. And now let's do some spaghetti. This might be even more disastrous. A little bit more. Basically, I'm just doing this so that it doesn't stick to the machine. Which we like. No. No. Now, can you see the goodness in there? All right. You know, it's got all sorts of goodness in it. Now, try not to drop this on the floor. Behave yourself. So now we've got choices. I absolutely agree with you. Jody's saying, I'm thinking that sun-dried tomatoes and rosemary would be excellent in the dough. And that's why I wanted to discuss it with you. I've got I only used half that little bit of dough that I made. All right. And I've already got 2 servings out of it. So I'm going to put this back in the fridge and probably, have it later in the week or put it in the freezer and have it next week. Right? That is enough for 2 servings, in my view. Okay, so there we go. Not difficult. And by the way, what I add to it is up to me. However, today what I'm going to do is actually have vegetables with it, and then make sort of just put some cream cheese in with it. Now, I did this last because that's what I'm going to eat for supper tonight. So I thought, if we cook that together, then when we finished, I can eat. So I'm just going to clear this off a bit. Now this is still a little soft. If I wanted to make very crispy crackers, I would do it even more. Now I've got a choice as to what I do with this, right? So find a pizza cutter works really well. And the reason I haven't made it absolutely crispy, even though I might choose to do that, is I want to be able to cut it. So now I'm just going to use my pizza cutter. Like this. And make different size ones. Remembering in here, I have got flaxseed, chia seeds, whole wheat, rye, you name it. I've got a lot of different ingredients in here. Too much flour on there. So you can see why I didn't want it too crispy. I want to be able to cut it first. Now, I'm pretty sure that some of you are saying, boy, I'd rather buy it in a bag than go through all that. But let me tell you what I found. Let me just finish cutting first so I can concentrate. here is part of my psychology. I say to myself, if I want to eat it, as long as I make it, I can eat it. So if I want to have fruit cobbler, as long as I make it, I can eat it. And as long as there's portion control. So this takes a long time to make. True? Not really. But here is the thing. As long as I've made it myself, I eat it guilt-free. Because what's happening is while I'm making this, I'm not eating something else. All right? And what will happen is I will put these back into the oven on a sheet and let them crisp up a little bit more. And then I'll be having that with a sour cream dip later. Absolutely. Jody's saying, and there's a certain satisfaction that comes from making your own. This is probably the equivalent of, half a packet. So the question is, how much did I just save? If I think of it that way. I don't think of it that way. I think of it, I made these, therefore I can eat them guilt-free. And if you notice, how much did I make? Did I make a whole lot or just some? And I probably won't eat it all, because ideally, I shouldn't eat it all, right? How simple was that, people? This is for, probably have half tonight and half later in the week. This I will turn into probably cheese, a pizza. I'll make a slice of pizza. By the way, you guys know I bought these silicone bread molds. I'm going to keep telling you, they are so useful because I can put this in here, cut the end off it, make more chips. Okay. I can put this in here, cover it with cheese and tomato and all sorts of goodness. And there we go. Yeah, instant. And I can cut it up into little snacks. And these I will just put into with the other ones. A little bit thicker. But you get the idea. So what else would you use it for? A pizza, you could make it with bacon and anything with bacon, right? So that's good. Where's the other one? Did we do those? We've done both. All right, so here's the other one. So this one, we just need to cut a little bit off the side. Remember, this is the rosemary filled and salt. Yum. So now, for another night, I've got another binging snack. I'll just put some cheese on top and some tomato. High fiber, good stuff. How many of you are saying, I could do that? I have always wanted to be able to do it. And I want to tell you, I've been doing it for the last couple of, yes, make a cheese twist. That's another thing. Jody for Christmas did bacon twists, which I thought was really clever. Where you literally take some bacon and you twist it in and then bake it that way. So very good idea. Good protein. So now then. We have got fresh pasta. So we need to boil it, right? How many of you are going, I don't know, I never cooked really fresh pasta. So I think we need to boil it. But before I do, I want to make the stuff I'm going to put in with it. And I'm going to end up putting it in another one, yes. I'm going to put it all into another one of these because they're so easy to clean. I find that they are great to cook in because they just clean up a breeze. I've had all sorts of burnt stuff on it and they've worked really well. Love them. So we are going to do the vegetables first. So I've got two different lots of vegetables. I'm going to cook everything in here just to show you how versatile they are. I've got the harder vegetables, the carrots, onion, red onion, and I'm going to keep the celery. The celery is harder, so that's going to go in. These can go later. So I'm just going to put these into the microwave for a little while. I'm actually so excited about this. All right, so Jodie's reminding me that fresh pasta takes considerably less time to cook than dried, usually 1 to 3 minutes. Oh, goody, goody. And I'm thinking, Jodie, I'm just going to cook it in a Pyrex. I think I'm going to cook both together because why not? So what I will do is I will boil this up, drop the pasta in, and then cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes, right? Experiment, people. Wow. Jodie, how did you like my pasta hanger? I didn't hear still. By the way, just to let you know, that pasta is already nearly dry. It's amazing how quickly that dried. Don't know why I find this so exciting. Okay, so they're half cooked. Then I'm going to add orange pepper. That's garnishing. Oh, yeah. Bacon. This is leek. Red pepper. Chives, homegrown. And some bok choy, which, by the way, I buy and freeze and then just thaw a little bit at a time whenever I want to add some of that greenery. Remember Benji's thing, eat the rainbow. Okay. So now I'm going to cook this for another couple of minutes. How many of you can see that's eating the rainbow? I've got all the colors there. Oh, that's a good idea. Kez is saying, what a good idea, Kez. Kez is saying, I just got an idea that you could, after cleaning it, hang the pasta over the faucet. All right, I've got this big faucet. So, or I could put a paper towel first, Kez, and then hang it over the paper towel. Good idea. I like the hanger. It's going to taste so good, isn't it? Now, Jodie, you were talking about sun-dried tomatoes. I forgot to put the tomatoes in there. I got tomatoes, you know that. Now, you've probably seen that I made enough vegetables so that it is at least the same amount as the pasta. That's the other thing I do. I can have this as long as my vegetable content is 100% over the pasta content. Does that make sense to everybody? So now I'm going to halve these. Oh, it looks so good, people. Doesn't that look like a lot of color? Now, it's not primavera because I got the bacon in there. And then what I'm going to do is cook the pasta. Do you think I can cook it in a Pyrex? I think I can, can't I? Because it's not going to take very long. And then I'm going to put a wedge of cream cheese in there and mix it all up with the pasta. Put the vegetable on top and then some Parmesan on top of that. Yum. Now, please notice that I do this every night. In other words, I will spend 2 hours creating a dish from scratch because I find when I do that, I eat all sorts of different things, but I also don't keep snacking on things. Why? Because I'm busy cooking up the next meal. Yes, Kez is saying use a trouser hanger with multiple rods. I would have brought that out if I thought, quite honestly, a coat hanger works really well. If you've got a plastic coat hanger, that works really well. Of course, some people have the proper gadget, but yeah. Yeah, I think a Pyrex will work too, Jody. All right, so let's do it. Okay, so I'm thinking 1 cup for each amount. So maybe, I put 3 cups of water in. We need some olive oil so it doesn't stick, which it probably will, but we don't care because this is an experiment. Virgin olive oil in there. Oh. So now I'm going to get that good and hot. Is anybody else excited about this, or is it just me? I also kept back. We can put these away. Come on. And I got my pasta bowl ready. Garnishings ready. Parmesan cheese ready. Cream cheese needs to be opened up. Oh, another tip of the day. This had plastic wrap or foil or whatever. Very useful for controlling baggies. I just stick them in. Do any of you do that? And yeah, these are small ones and these are bigger ones. All right. I wonder if that's another warning about the weather. Hold on 1 second, people. I need to check that. Because they keep sending me these warnings. Yeah. Good. All right. So let's see how we're doing here. Another couple of minutes. It needs to be at a boil before I put it in, right? Jody saying you wouldn't have thought of that, to be honest. What wouldn't you have thought of? Just so that I know what I helped you with. The weather report? I don't know about the rest of you, but through Amazon, I can get that weather report sent directly. So that's why I knew that it came from them. It's a good thing to have, especially if you live in central USA, for example. So I know I've already got my bathtub full of bottles of, gallon jugs of water, because the chances of us still getting a power outage tonight are pretty good. Touch wood, so far we've kept power. Just trying to get it up to a rolling boil. Rolling boil. Jody's saying she likes the baggies in here. These are the ones that these are the ones that they deliver the groceries in, the vegetables. So I keep those, and what do I use them for? I use them to put in meat, anything that's going to be smelly. I put it in one of these bags and tie it up, and then, I don't have to worry about the smell. Sometimes I put 2 of them in, 2 layers. Yeah, I think that should do it. All right, let's go for it, people. Wow, it's amazing. I don't know if you can see, but it's already, started to firm up quite significantly. Should I have put salt in there? Why is my brain telling me I'm trying not to put salt in things because of my blood pressure? That's how I keep my blood pressure under control. It's going to be tasty, people, I think. So By the time I eventually sit down in the evening, you understand that I have not been snacking on a lot of things. That, you know, in the old days when I didn't do it this way, I would, you know, be pre-cooking something or getting something out of the freezer. This way, it uses up a lot of my evening so that I'm not snacking, which I like, especially on a Friday. You know, I wanted to show you that, Jody, the close-up of the pasta, because I wanted you to see that it is already, how quickly it dries out. You know, if I wanted to keep it, you know, if I made it in the morning and I wanted to keep it moist, I think it needs to go into a plastic bag. I was actually thinking that, you know, if I wanted the right number of servings, I would just fill up, you know, each of these. And know that that was a correct serving. Does that make sense? You know, and then maybe put um, the other one on top of it just to stop it drying out. Look at that. And give it another couple of minutes, then I think we're done. Now, if you really want to know about how much should I cook, I find that if you ask Google what you know, what is a portion in a restaurant or in a hotel, right? You will be amazed how little they cook. For example, you know, you got 6 people coming for dinner. You know, you can get it on Google that if you were in a restaurant, this is how much vegetable they would serve, this is how much meat they would serve. And I want to tell you, it's way less than we would do. And so from that, you know, looking at it that way, it's quite a good idea. And it's part of the way that I've changed my portion control. I'm going to need to rinse it, right? You think? I don't want to. I'm hungry now. So how many of you know I'm going to have such fun? 2 ounces is a portion of pasta. Yes, 2 ounces. That's not very much, people. Where's my measure? Did I put it away? Nope. A cup is 8 ounces. Pasta is not very much. That's why I wanted to show you that what I've actually cooked is 2 servings. And I'm going to love every moment of it. Oh, boiled over. That's good. I think it's done. The water coming out of that well is so cold. I want to tell you, it's scary. I cannot brush my teeth with it. Okay, so now we're going to drip dry that a bit. Look at it, guys. Doesn't look like I made it. So exciting. I'm going to put it in there. Add the cream cheese. I think it's going to need a good dollop of cream cheese. And I'm going to warm that up. We're going to need some pepper. Nearly dropped that. That would have been fun. And we want some Parmesan. Oh, new one. Okay, keep your fingers crossed, people. Now, I can already tell you I will probably only eat half of this, because I'm not used to eating that much. Looks so good. All right, let's put some pepper in there. Mix it up again. Okay, let's add our vegetables. Now remember what we've got in here: bacon, celery, onion, peppers, carrot, lots of good vegetables. And then I am going to put a little bit of Parmesan on top. And then I'm just going to garnish it with a little bit of celery leaf. And what do you think? So, should I taste it? I want to get my keyboard out of the way because otherwise I'm going to drop Parmesan all over my keyboard. Hang on a second, people. All right, so here we go. Wish me luck. Yes, it worked. Oh, I want to tell you that that does not taste like I just made it. But the pasta is soft. You know, it's not overcooked. It's just perfect. Um, I did not. Again, I keep saying this to you guys, but it's true. I actually didn't expect this to taste this good. Well, why am I talking to you? Now, this is always the challenge on a Friday night. I will go and eat my dinner quietly and relax and thoroughly enjoy it. And then I will binge watch. And then every now and then I'll get up and clean the next bit of the kitchen. And by the time I've finished, the kitchen will be tidy. I will have had a really pleasant evening. And I will think that I had a good day at DearMamaSal today. So I hope that you all enjoyed it. For those of you who joined me at lunchtime, I really want to thank you for being there for that, because I found that really helpful to me, never mind anybody else. So, it was interesting to think about those things. And now, before this gets cold, I'm going to go off and eat it. Thank you all for your time and your effort. How many of you are going to give, try and actually make your own pasta? Just what a great thing to do with the children. If you've got one of these machines sitting in the back of a cupboard somewhere, get it out. As I showed you, makes flatbread, makes crackers, and kids are really good about making things like that. And if you tell them, hey, if you make it, you can eat it, and I'll teach you how to make it, you'll be surprised how often they want to actually help you do that. This is DearMamaSal saying, have fun in the kitchen. We didn't measure anything that I can remember. I threw some flour, some this, some that in. It's about do what feels right and enjoy it. Thank you, Jody, for all your help. To all of you who are here, thank you for that as well. Hope you had fun, because I sure did. This is DearMamaSal saying, I'm off to eat now. Bye-bye.